Get ready for the Teen Summit podcast, presenting the teen co-host, Aisha.
Huh? Are you crazy?
Jordan.
Like, I can smell you across the room with that.
Naya.
He's a what now? What is he?
And presenting your host, Rachel Bernadette.
Right, we're in there. All right.
All right, welcome to Teen Summit Podcast. It's been a long time, and in the words of Aaliyah,
a long time. We shouldn't have left you without a dope beat. Step two, step two, step two, step two, step two. It's been a long time. We shouldn't have left you without a dope beat. Step two, step two, step two, step two, step two. Baby girl.
What would you do to get to me?
Okay, yes, you gotta love some Aaliyah. So it's been a long time, and I think we all needed just a moment to refresh, to renew, but we're back like we never left, and we're excited to continue exploring. We have a few more episodes before the end of our first season, so we will run through December, and then we'll be back next year as the Lake Arbor continues to sponsor this amazing platform for us. And on the last episode of Teen Summit Podcast, it was right before summer started, and we talked with teens who were working over the summer to hear about their experiences. And we brought back Teen Summit OG, Mr. Fred, to join the conversation, and we discovered a few things. We talked about why you need a Social Security card when filling out a job application. And then we talked about tips for starting conversations with new people, period. Today, we're super excited to be back on our 17th episode. That's crazy. We literally started in November of 2020, and we're 17 episodes in. As we discuss this weekend, we'll talk about topics from back to school, politics, education, and do kind of a roundup recap as we just reconnect and get back into our groove. And so without further ado, let's roll the intro clip.
The Laffy presents Teen Summit Podcast with your host, Miss Ray. Youth with passion. Youth who speak their mind. Listen to the voices of our youth. Youth who care.
Okay, so first I just want to say welcome back, everyone. It's been a minute. But our first intro segment is going to be a recap of what has been going on with us because we've been gone since August. So, kind of got to catch up on what we missed. So I guess I'll go first since I'm introducing it. I started my junior year, yay. But junior year honestly really taught me a lot about commitment and time management that I thought I had. But, it's all cool. Like, just when I thought I was doing great in sophomore year, junior year just kicked in and just questioned me a lot. So I learned a lot about commitment and the importance of time management during these 4 weeks that I've been in school. So what about you, Jordan, Naye? How are things going on for you?
I just started 10th grade. It's different because I still feel like a 9th grader, but then also still feel like an 8th grader because my 8th grade was cut short, and then like 9th grade was just virtual. So I don't feel like a 10th grader. I feel like a 9th grader, not even an 8th grader. I play soccer now because yeah, it's kind of cool. I played my first game. Was it Tuesday? Yeah, and then because I couldn't play my other 2 games because I had injury, so couldn't really play. And we won our game recently, 3-8.
Yes.
Right.
Who did y'all play?
We played, I believe, Capital City, Cap City. Maybe?
Okay. All you know is that you just whipped some soccer ball up and down the field.
Yeah.
Nice.
Much going on.
Cool. It's my turn. We just started school last week, Wednesday at Southern Oregon. So far, right now, we've turned to virtual learning until October 11th. So it's been kind of boring, but the classes are fun. So far, campus is fun too. We've been able to do various different activities. I did glow in the dark golf last week. It was actually kind of fun. And yeah, that's about it for me. There's not much else. It feels like I'm a freshman. It doesn't feel like I'm still a senior.
I mean, you moved to a new state. Like, how was that experience moving from Hawaii to now Oregon? Like, was it stressful? Did you enjoy it?
I enjoy it. This is fun. I know everyone's like, you're gonna be homesick, but I haven't felt it yet. So plus I love cold weather, and it's been really cold here, kind of. I don't know, everyone's saying that it's a false fall, so it's hot but it's not. And that's kind of irritating because it's supposed to be cold.
Yeah. West Coast is there. The weather is definitely interesting. They like California, even California, within one state, it could be like Southern California is hot, and then Northern California can be like cold and rainy and gloomy, like near the San Francisco area. So definitely be an adjustment from mostly warm all year round in in Hawaii. So that's cool. That's cool. Y'all are, I missed y'all. So Naye reminded me that I am also, well, I'm not playing soccer, but I'm coaching cross country because fall is cross country season. And so I'm actually coaching at Naye's school. So that's fun. We had our first track meet yesterday. And track is not one of those sports whether you win or lose. Like, yes, you can win a race, but it's more about your time and like how low your times get over time. Jinx, Minnesota. Or is that a pun? I don't know. Anyways, how low? So that's been fun. So that's been something new in my world. And yeah, I'm also going to be more involved with Naye's school and community service, which is something that I know, like, Aisha, you're probably already maxed out your community service hours, but any teens who are listening, fall is a great time to get involved with community service because a lot of food pantries are opening up and different
Especially
organizations.
in the winter time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because wintertime, don't you usually have like community service hours for like homeless shelters, especially during snow days and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that there's a lot.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like in general, because you don't see what you're not looking for. So if you're not looking for community service hours, you'll be like, oh, there's nothing to do. But literally, you can be the community service hour, like in the sense of seeing a need, finding a place that can help support that need, and you taking that first step. And so maybe we might talk about that on another episode about like, what does leadership look like in terms of community service and how to do it. Like, it doesn't have to be something so overwhelming in that way. So maybe I think we'll explore that a little bit more. But yeah, so one thing that has been on my mind lately. And I know like Aisha and Naye and Jordan in some ways, not at the college level, but the high school level, is like how people, well, no, college level too, how have people been adjusting going back to in-person learning? Like, what have y'all been noticing? Even within yourself as the transition has been happening, new things happening around the school, old things happening around the school. What has that been like?
I've seen a mix of different things. I've seen people who wear masks and like are following the CDC guidelines. I've seen people plastic robes, just being extra secure. So yeah,
Wait,
I've
like a quarantine type suit?
not a suit, but like those like plastic robes. Like how a robe is.
Yeah.
It's plastic and blue, like a plastic bag, but it has arms. Yeah, like
to
that.
School?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Naye's mouth.
Especially with like the nurses. The nurses, they're really, suited up with the PPE.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like students.
Yeah, well, students, I don't even know what to say about the students, to be honest. Everything is the same in terms of transitioning to different classes and like the cafeteria and all that stuff. I haven't seen plastic robes on students. Nurses and teachers definitely, but yeah, lunches are still the same size plus some, because we have like over 2,000 students at our school. And yeah, classrooms, not really much social distancing, but teachers do what they can. But pretty much things are really the same plus masks. So, yeah, coping, definitely.
Ours is extremely different. So for Southern Oregon, if you do not have a vaccine, because it's now mandatory, you cannot come on campus at all. Like for our library and our student rec center, you have to show that you have a vaccination, and you have to be like fully vaccinated from your last shot, so 2 weeks after. If not, then you can't come on. Or you can say that you have like cleared on campus, which you get like a email saying that you are. So for us, everyone's like following guidelines. I think the only time that people don't wear a mask is obviously in the dining room. And then sometimes when you're like walking the street like alone, but that's like because you're not around like a lot of people, so they'll like take off their mask. But it's like totally fine. Everybody else is like social distancing. Yeah, so it's totally different from what you have.
I don't even know what to say about Aisha's school, because my school, we just wear masks, make sure everybody wears them, kind of social distance, because everybody's like, different classes have different amount of students, and but like I haven't seen anybody in like a row. Even the nurse just wears a mask. Some people like wear 2 masks though, because you want to stay safe. But I mean, I can say that it's a little. I think the sanitation and stuff is a little different now, because now everybody's like bringing a whole bunch of hand sanitizer. First you're like, oh, you have a little hand sanitizer, okay, whatever. But now everybody's just like, oh, you got hand sanitizer. Oh, you got hand sanitizer. Oh, you got hand sanitizer. And everyone almost is just like always like lotioning their hands, including me. Cause like my English teacher literally has like a lotion like thing like on her, like in the, what is it called? I don't know.
Wall?
On the shelf.
Okay.
And so that people can like put lotion on, because we wash our hands and put hand sanitizer on so much. Like one of the different things.
So you bring up a good point about, basically it sounds like behaviors are changing, like our human behaviors as people are changing. So are any of you noticing like how people are interacting with each other differently now that you're back in person?
Yes.
I have a good one.
Yes.
The jokes are creative. The jokes are innovative. The jokes are out of the box. I have nothing, like, just imagine you're walking through the hallway and somebody says, oh, I'm about to cough on you. Huh? Are you crazy? Are you like, I'm like, what is wrong with these people? They really play around about something that's so serious. And I'm just like, let me double up my mask, let me wear my hand sanitizer, it's
I actually
crazy.
kind of love that though, because I mean, like, especially because 2020 was like a really dark time for everybody to just put like a little joke in or like a lightning to the situation. I'm totally okay with that. Lots of people have like dark humor jokes, and it's hilarious because like as long as they're laughing, I can laugh. It's just funny.
Right. But as long as it just stays as dark humor, that's good. But once I hear a little no.
I think for me, for the physical instance of it, like I feel like more people are like not so used to being in the classroom and being with others that they've been clashing and few fights, and it's just kind of like, wait, so we come back from virtual and then kaboom. I mean, just know that like I guess they're already been pent up in a house, and they like, things done happen, during virtual and stuff, that it's just kind of like, okay, all right. I guess it's time for me to just, I don't know. It's just
Yeah, I mean, like, that's something
it's
that I
also
mean,
overwhelming too, because like there's so many people in the room sometimes, or like there's just things sometimes hit people in certain spots now that like it didn't before, because you haven't had that social, or people like some people like they used to be very social and now like they don't know how to socialize, or they're introverted, so they're like introvertness, is that a word, has like,
introversion.
yeah, has like gotten worse because they don't really know how to talk to people, so they haven't talked to people in a long time.
Yeah, Naya raises a good point. At Parkdale, like to me, I feel like because students have been home for so long, I feel like they kind of missed the physical interaction and like knowing how to like deal with things. And a lot of students don't really know how to social distance at school, being that they're around so many students at once. And especially for like the ninth and 10th graders that are coming in, Naya, I'm sorry, but I call you guys middle schoolers still. But since there's just like now coming in, they don't really know anything about, let's say, high school, and they don't really know what to do. So they resort to what they think is appropriate or, will be tolerated at the school. And my school has a reputation for fights. So these ninth graders think that they can, that it is okay to resort to that in order to gain, like a face at the school or to gain a reputation or like drama basically. So yeah, it definitely does play an impact on how people perceive things, especially if you're in a new environment, and that definitely should be something that, is addressed.
Yeah, I mean, like, if even just that in different schools, I was reading, I live in PG County, and in Annapolis, I think it's Annapolis High School, there was a recent stabbing, which unfortunately, when I went to middle school and even Parkdale, I think there was also a stabbings as well. But I feel like the number and incidences of like fights are increasing, and it makes me think of like what, in addition to how COVID has interacted and played a role in this, like what else can be used to like lessen the violence and tension between students in schools. I mean, it's all right. It's just bad because, in my view, because everyone was already isolated, and now you bring everyone back together and establish norms. Like, what are some ways that you all think violence in schools, especially now, can be deterred? And I'll throw in one point to consider. One of the things that slowed the spread of the Annapolis High School fight was that there was a school resource officer on site and that they were able to like diffuse the fight more readily than if, you know, if it was just like a teacher or somebody else trying to break things up. So I don't know if that solves the problem in terms of reducing the amount of violence and fights and aggression in schools, but it's something that, you know, was used in the situation. And so from your experience, the question is like, what do you feel like should be implemented or is working or is not working in this day and time, given COVID and given the increase of just aggression and social interaction on campus? That was like a long question and a long paragraph. So if you're confused, just say I'm confused.
Personally, so when I was in high school, can't believe that I just said that. That sounds weird. But when we had fights that were starting, there was always like a teacher or a vice principal or even like a security guard that was always like on site to break it up. So most of the time, the fights would only last between maybe 15 to 30 seconds. I think the only one that I saw that lasted longer was because they were stuck. There was like a fence between the security guards and the kids fighting. And then there was like a bunch of freshmen that were crowding them. So it was hard to get in. So I think like in that aspect, it was really good at like diffusing the situation. But I don't know. How about you guys?
Yeah, so many security guards or school resource officers, as they are, like it's kind of hard to keep students tame and, you know, not really resorting to physical violence whenever they're in a compromising situation. And in Prince George's County, the student member of the board actually protested against school resource officers because, you know, a lot of students feel like the ones that we have are police officers, like actual police officers. So they feel like they're treating students as if we're like, you know, prisoners or in like isolating us in a way. But the ones that I've met are nice. I like them. But, you know, I kind of understand from both aspects where, you know, the pro and the con is coming from. But I do feel like the school resource officers do have a lot of good, you know, use at schools, especially for fights.
I would say I like the whole peer mediation thing. Like I like really like that kind of stuff because I mean, to me, yes, adults like Ms. Ray said, like yes, adults can help and like help with the situation, but not all the time does um a student feel more comfortable with um like talking to an adult. So sometimes they rather talk to their peer or talk to their friend or talk to someone who's like in their age group to figure something out. So like I know at my old school, there's like different things that like there wasn't really fights, but like arguments and stuff. And so like if something happened, you'll have like this little box where people just put their little like how they feel and stuff. And then we'll like us as students will go and like help them and talk to them and say, hey, like what's going on? Where can we support you? Like can you like explain to us like what's going on and what happened? That way, like if that way we can help with the situation and we can help like maybe maintain it. But then like if we felt like we couldn't help as much, we would go to an adult like, hey, so we talked to the student and we asked them questions and they told us this and that. But like I get, you know, obviously if they don't want like certain information to like go to like an adult or whatever, you obviously wouldn't tell them that unless it's like putting them in danger or something. And we would just say like they feel this type of way. Is there a way that you can help us with this? And so I think that really helped because then you can like bring both students or whoever's fighting together and be like, so this is how this person feel, this is how that person feel. Like, do you understand both sides? I feel like that's kind of what works and well to me.
Yeah, I would add, I was doing some additional research as this conversation was evolving, and Just in January 2021, President Biden signed an executive order when he urged the reopening of schools, and the Department of Homeland Security and the Secret Service, they did a study to think about how to mitigate or prevent the threats of school violence as schools return to normal or back in person. And a lot of the points that were discussed revolved around things that students are going through or might have been exposed to during the pandemic that could increase the potential for violence in schools. So, they might have been in a home where abuse and neglect and a variety of different factors, they were just fully just in it. And now students are coming back into a school building where they had experienced all of these things, and now they're coming back to a school and not really understanding how to process it. And so to Naye's point, mediation definitely can be a solution. I also see like both sides, kind of like what Naye was saying. I mean, Aisha was saying in the sense of having a presence there, and what Jordan was saying, to have someone who can immediately break something up if there is a incident. But the theme I hear is that we have to get to the root of why this is even happening in the first place. Like by the time there's a fight, I won't say it's too late, but there was something boiling up in the beginning. Maybe it was bullying. Maybe it was something about like a romantic relationship, and understanding like what are the different triggers that are happening. So anything that you all want to add to that conversation before we switch topics real quick?
Yeah, I just want to agree with you, Ms. Ray. And to add on to what Naya was saying, I think peer mediation is great. However, it can honestly be too late, because most students aren't going to go to like a counselor, or if the school has a peer mediator, they're not going to go to them if they're having like a conflict. They're going to want to, stand up for themselves and, do it that way. And by the time a peer mediator can like talk to them, they already fought. So having like security there, or like someone around who can like stop the fight, is way faster than a peer mediator.
Yeah, interesting. I'd encourage one thing that you did mention, Aisha, that I would encourage any teams who are listening and do have school resource officers in your building, talk to them, right? Like Aisha, you said in your case, they're really nice, the ones that you have interacted with, but a lot of what has been going on in the world, even racially, with police brutality, community conversations go a long way. Yes, not everybody is going to be willing to have a conversation with a young person, or they might feel like, oh, adultism, right? We talked about that before. Oh, you're a child, so why am I talking with you? But this show is a space to have generations that we talk with each other so we can understand different points of view, because that's just, in my view, how change and healing and transformation really happens, is that when different generations are coming together and sharing their perspectives. So teens listening, to have a conversation, say hi, and even if they don't say hi back, I'm always of the mindset, you don't change who you are because of who they are. You stay true to you, and eventually it may or may not have an impact, but at least you are making efforts to make a difference and be the change in the world. So, I think we're going to stop there, because I wanted to bring up a different topic around the new Texas abortion bill, but that is a larger conversation that I really want to give due time, and we are already at our 30-minute mark. So viewers, stay tuned for the next episode. We will definitely go into the Texas Heartbeat Act, or the Senate Bill 8, and talk about that a little bit more, because I think that, and we all agree that that was a very controversial political topic that we wanted to explore more. But as we wrap up, is there anything else that is on your mind that we could leave our viewers with?
When you're having trouble with somebody, please go to someone. Like if you are starting a conflict or you feel like a conflict is about to happen, think to yourself and think, do I want to escalate the situation and have a fight when multiple things can happen? Or do you just want to reach out to someone, even a friend, just to like talk to? If you have peer mediators, talk to them, or like a counselor, anybody, like talk to them first before you do anything. Because maybe, just maybe, that conflict that's about to happen, that whole big fight that is about to happen, can literally be stopped and nobody can get hurt, and maybe nothing happens and you don't get suspended or expelled from school. I think that's better for everybody, because I'm pretty sure everyone wants to stay in school. Well, maybe not, but I hope everybody wants to stay in school and get their education and get to college. So let's maybe not like just go straight to fighting, because I feel like fighting is just, once you fight, then there's so many things that can happen, and like you never know what, like who's watching, or like who's like that friend that, or that person you're fighting. You don't know what's their backstory. So like think to yourself, is it worth it to fight, or would you rather just talk to someone and get it off your chest first?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like I definitely like agree with everything Naya said. She basically just summed everything up. However, I do want to say that just because we're still in a pandemic does not mean you cannot get involved. So please do not make this your excuse to stay out of touch with what is around you. But with that being said, thank you. But with that being said, thank you to everyone who is currently watching this video. We definitely appreciate it. Stay tuned for our next episode on October 14th, once again on a Thursday. But in the meantime, please catch up on our latest episodes, including this one, at YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and Instagram at Lake Arbor 5. So thank you.
All right. Bye, y'all. Till next time.
Bye.